Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you the best way to restore your headlights, and I'm going to do it right now. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to tackle the job of restoring these headlights. Not a hard job, you can do it yourself at home. These headlights are yellow and faded and ugly, and they decrease visibility when you're driving, and it's a safety issue. So what we're going to do today is the right way to restore these so they last for years to come, okay? There's a lot of different ways to restore these headlights. A lot of people buff them. A lot of people use, I've even seen people use tri-bug spray and things, but those ways are temporary fixes. They do not last. I've tried buffing them before and they do not last. They yellow out again in a few months, okay? But this is going to last for years, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to need a few things here. We have some 600 grit, a couple pieces of 600 grit sandpaper, okay? We're going to wet sand this, so we're going to need some water. I've got a spray bottle here that we're going to use to wet these down, to wet sand them. We also have some 2000 grit sandpaper. This is just to go over it, the final wet sanding. And then we have some different types of tape. I have some 3/4 inch tape and I have some 2-inch tape. So what I'm going to do is tape up the edge of these, and if it's on your vehicle, you're going to want to tape up the edge nice and clean, and then cover the rest of your vehicle or a portion of your vehicle so you don't get any overspray from the clear coat. We're also going to need some clear coat. I have an aerosol can of clear coat that we're going to use, and I'm going to show you that later. And then we also need some paper towels to clean these and wipe them down before we clear them. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to tape this up and then start wet sanding with the 600 to remove all this yellow. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't liked and subscribed, and let's get started. Okay, so we have our headlight all taped up. This is a headlight that I'm not going to use, so I'm not real concerned about overspray, but I wanted to tape that up, that portion up, so you can see the difference. But what we're going to do is color sand this or wet sand this with the 600 grit to remove all the imperfections. Now, your headlight might have some cracks in the plastic. This process will not take those out, but it will still make it look 100% better, especially if it's foggy and deteriorated from the sun. Now, I do have some clear here. What you want to look for when you purchase your clear is you want to look for a clear that has UV protection. And you can buy those at pretty much anywhere, hardware store, automotive store. I'll leave some links in the descriptions to some products you can use, to all these products you can use from Amazon. But you also need something to clean it with after we're done wet sanding before we clear. And I'm going to use, for today's purposes, some rubbing alcohol, and you can use that on there. I also have Prep-Sol here, but this is what you will probably use. It's very inexpensive. So let me go ahead and wet sand this with some 600. And you're going to see the yellow just start coming off. Now there are some really, there are some spots in here, and I'm curious to see if they come out. Let me zoom in to show you. So there's some damage in the, what looks like it might be in the plastic. I don't know what it's from, but we can wet sand a lot of that out of there, and maybe all of it. So we're going to see how that comes out. So I'm just apply a little water here, get it good and wet the paper, and then just start sanding. You can do any kind of motion, whatever works. I would just start at one area and then just work your way around. You want to make sure I clean this beforehand, but you want to make sure it's clean so you don't have any dirt or grime on there that's going to dig into the plastic and create deep scratches. Shouldn't be a problem, but you can see that yellow coming right off of this headlight. Okay, that's better. I forgot to plug in my mic, so hopefully that's better. So I'm going to add a little bit more water, but see that yellow running right off of there? Look at that. So we're going to continue wet sanding this. Getting all the edges. The better you wet sand it, the better it's going to turn out. So this is the most important part of the whole process, is to getting it good and clean. And by wet sand, you're not going to damage it. If you wet sand too long, you'd have to wet sand through the plastic. I mean, it's not going to damage it. And just so you know, these headlights are cleared. Most of the headlights, I'm not going to say all the manufacturers, but most of them clear headlights from the factory. They have a process where they clear them. So this isn't anything out of the ordinary. This is the way it's supposed to be done. So, okay, so that's wet sanded. I'm going to wipe this down and just show you. We're going to get a little bit of the rubbing alcohol, wipe it down, and show you how it looks after the first wet sand. I may go over it again. Okay, so I'll just take a little bit of the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to pour it on there. See all the yellow on that rag? This is going to help dry it too when you go to clear it. Okay, I can see that some of those spots are still there, so let me zoom in here and show you. See, if you look close, you can see that spot is still there. I'm going to wet sand that a little bit more, see if we can get a little bit better, so we get the best finish we can get. I'm going to wet my paper some more, get all this yellow nastiness off. That might be a little chip in the plastic, but to be honest with you, you're probably not going to notice it too much after it's cleared. Okay, let's wipe this down. Oops. Okay, that looks much better. Okay, I'm just going to wipe some of this water off here. I'll go over it with the 2000. Typically, I don't use the 2000, but I really want to see how it turns out using 2000. since I haven't done it before. I've just done it with 600. But you can see there's no, what's coming off here now is not yellow, it's white. So that's a good sign that you've removed all the yellow. Okay, just a light coat with this 2000. We'll rub it down, wipe it down, and then use the rubbing alcohol on it. Okay. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Clean it. Okay, and I'm just going to let that dry for a few minutes. And then we'll come back and clear it. But let me show you how it should look. You're going to have that fogginess, haziness. That's okay, because those scratches are going to help that clear adhere properly, and it's not going to affect the finished look of this, okay? Okay, I missed pressing the play button, so I put my first coat on already. But what you want to do on your first coat is you want to start off the headlight, go across the bottom, and then continue up, working your way up, even movement. And you never want to stop on the headlight, and you want to put your first coat on light, and that's what I did. As you can see, it's already looking 100% better. It's much clearer. It does look a little dry, and that's because it's a very light coat. But as we build the coats, we're going to put 3 coats on this at least. It's going to look clearer and clearer and smooth. So see that? It's already looking much, much better. Okay, so we're going to let this dry for 10 minutes, and then we're going to put another coat on. Okay, we're ready to put the second coat of clear on here. See how I'm moving a little quicker, putting it a little heavier. And then we're going to let it cure for a little bit and put the third coat on. But look at the clarity. Much better. Okay, third and final coat of clear. I think I'm going to start the top here real quick. Putting on a little bit heavier. We'll see how that works. Maybe too heavy. Let it flow out. Okay, so there's the finished product. You can see it has a nice gloss, nice shine. I'm gonna unbag it and show you the comparison. There's a little bit of texture in this one, but it's very clear and it's much better than before. Okay, so there's a comparison of the two differences between the yellow and the clear, and that's going to be a much brighter light when you're driving down the road. So the visibility is going to be much better, and it looks much better. And you can even wet sand and buff this if you want, because it's just automotive clear. So you could wet sand buff that to a really high gloss finish, flat. But there you go. The best way to restore your headlights, bar none. This is the answer if you're looking to restore your headlights. Appreciate each and every one of you watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.